Nobody expected the human to survive his first day at the Galactic Military Academy. But what happened in the training hall that morning changed everything. The transport ship landed at the Galactic Military Academy on planet Xeron. The doors opened slowly. A young man stepped out. His name was Jake Carter. He was the first human ever to join this academy. Jake looked around. The academy was huge. Giant buildings made of silver metal touched the sky. Alien cadets walked everywhere. Some were 10 feet tall. Some had 4 arms. Others had scales like reptiles. Jake was only 6 feet tall. He looked small. He looked weak. Other cadets stopped and stared at him. They whispered to each other. An alien with blue skin pointed at Jake. Another one with red eyes laughed. Jake kept walking. His face stayed calm. He carried one small bag on his shoulder. Near the main entrance, 7 cadets stood together. They were the elite warriors of the academy. Their leader was named Crawl. He was 8 feet tall. His skin was gray like stone. His muscles were huge. He had sharp teeth like a shark. Crawl saw Jake walking. He smiled in a mean way. He turned to his 6 friends. They all laughed together. Crawl spoke loudly so everyone could hear. This weak thing is from Earth. They call Earth a death world. But look at him. He looks like a child. How did he even get accepted here? Jake heard everything, but he did not stop. He did not look at Crawl. He just kept walking toward the dormitory building. His boots made soft sounds on the metal floor. His eyes looked straight ahead. But something in those eyes was different. Something dangerous. Something cold. Crawl watched Jake walk away. He laughed again. Tomorrow we have combat training. I will teach this human his place. My friends will help me. 7 against 1. He will cry and run back to his weak planet. The other cadets agreed. They made plans to embarrass Jake in front of everyone. They wanted to show that humans did not belong here. They wanted to prove that Earth soldiers were nothing special. Jake reached his room. He put his bag down. He sat on the bed. The room was small and simple. 1 bed, 1 desk, 1 window showing the training grounds below. Jake looked out the window. He saw Crawl and his friends still talking and laughing. Jake closed his eyes. He took a deep breath. He remembered his training on Earth. He remembered his instructor's last words before he left. They will test you, Jake. They will think you are weak. Show them what humans are made of, but only when you have no choice. Jake opened his eyes. He unpacked his bag. Inside was his Earth military uniform. On the uniform was a patch. It showed a symbol. The symbol of Earth Special Forces. The most dangerous soldiers in human history. Jake hung the uniform carefully. He lay down on the bed. Tomorrow would be interesting. Crawl had no idea what he was planning to do. None of them did. The next morning came fast. Jake woke up early. He put on his training uniform. It was simple and gray. He walked to the combat training hall. The hall was massive. It had high ceilings and white walls. In the center was a large fighting arena. Around the arena were seats where other cadets could watch. Jake arrived first. He started stretching his muscles. His movements were slow and controlled. Other cadets began entering the hall. They saw Jake and whispered again. Some pointed at him. Others shook their heads like they felt sorry for him. Then Crawl entered with his 6 friends. They walked in like they owned the place. Their boots hit the floor hard with each step. Crawl saw Jake and smiled big. His sharp teeth showed. He nudged his friends with his elbow. They all grinned. The instructor walked in. He was a tall alien with purple skin and 4 eyes. His name was Commander Vex. He had fought in 50 wars. Everyone respected him. Everyone feared him. Commander Vex stood in the center of the arena. His voice was deep and loud. Today is free sparring session. You will fight to test your skills. No weapons. No killing moves. But everything else is allowed. Show me what you learned. Crawl's smile grew bigger. This was perfect. This was exactly what he wanted. He looked at his 6 friends. They nodded at each other. They had practiced this. They knew what to do. Jake stood quietly near the edge of the arena. He was doing breathing exercises. In through the nose. Out through the mouth. His heart rate was slow. His mind was clear. Other cadets formed a circle around the arena. They wanted to watch. Word had spread fast. The human was going to fight today. Everyone wanted to see if the rumors were true. Was he really weak? Could he survive even one round? Crawl stepped into the arena first. His 6 friends followed behind him. They spread out slowly. They began surrounding Jake like wolves circling prey. Their shadows covered Jake completely. Jake noticed them moving. He stopped stretching. He stood up straight. He looked at Crawl, then at the other 6. He counted them quickly. 7 total. He sighed quietly. Crawl stepped closer. His voice was loud, so everyone could hear. Well, the little human is here. Let us see what a Death World soldier can do. I hope you know how to fight, because we do not show mercy here. The crowd of cadets watching started making noise. Some cheered for Crawl. Others stayed silent. They wanted to see what would happen. Jake tried to walk away. He moved toward the exit of the arena, but 2 of Crawl's friends stepped in front of him. They blocked his path. Their arms crossed over their chests. Jake stopped. Crawl laughed loud. Where are you going, human? Are you scared already? The fight has not even started. Jake turned around slowly. He faced Crawl directly. The arena went quiet. Everyone stopped talking. They waited to see what Jake would do. Jake's voice was calm. It was soft but clear. Everyone could hear it. I am giving you a chance to walk away. All of you, just walk away now. For a moment, nobody moved. Then Crawl threw his head back. He laughed so hard his whole body shook. His 6 friends joined him. They laughed together. The sound echoed in the hall. Some cadets in the crowd started laughing too. Crawl wiped tears from his eyes. Did you hear that? He is giving us a chance. The tiny human wants to give us a chance. That is the funniest thing I ever heard. The 7 aliens moved closer to Jake. They tightened the circle. Jake was trapped in the middle. There was nowhere to run. Crawl cracked his knuckles. The sound was like breaking wood. Commander Vex watched from the side. His 4 eyes studied Jake carefully. He saw something the others did not see. Jake was not scared. His body was relaxed. His breathing was steady. This was not the posture of a weak cadet. This was the posture of a predator. Crawl raised his fists. Let us teach this human a lesson. Show him that Earth soldiers do not belong here. Crawl moved first. He stepped forward with confidence. His right fist came flying toward Jake's face. It was a heavy punch. A punch that could break bones. The crowd watched. Some closed their eyes. They thought Jake would go down hard. But Jake moved. His body shifted to the left like water flowing around a rock. Crawl's fist passed through empty air. It missed completely. Crawl's eyes went wide with surprise. How did the human move so fast? The crowd gasped. Nobody expected that. Crawl was known for his speed. But Jake made him look slow. Made him look clumsy. Crawl got angry. He threw another punch with his left hand. This one was faster. Harder. He put all his strength into it. But again Jake moved. This time Jake did not dodge. He caught Crawl's fist with his own hand. The sound of flesh hitting flesh echoed in the arena. Crawl tried to pull his hand back, but he could not. Jake's grip was like iron. Crawl pulled harder. His muscles strained. His face turned red with effort. But Jake's hand did not move. It held Crawl's fist like a trap. Then Jake twisted. His movement was smooth and fast. Crawl's arm bent the wrong way. There was a loud crack, like a branch breaking. Crawl screamed. The sound was terrible. It was high-pitched and full of pain. He dropped to his knees. His arm hung at a strange angle. The entire arena went silent. Nobody moved. Nobody breathed. 3 seconds had passed. Only 3 seconds. And Crawl, their strongest fighter, was already down. 2 of Crawl's friends ran at Jake from both sides. They were trying to trap him. One came from the left. One from the right. Their arms reached out to grab him. They moved together like they practiced this move before. But Jake saw them coming. He dropped low. His body went down so fast it looked like he disappeared. He swept his leg in a wide circle. His foot hit both aliens at the ankle. Their legs flew out from under them. They crashed the ground hard. Their heads hit the metal floor. The sound was like thunder. Both lay there not moving. They were dazed. They could not get up. Total time passed was now 5 seconds. Only 5 seconds. 3 aliens were down. 4 were still standing. But now they looked different. The confidence was gone from their faces. Fear replaced it. Their hands shook slightly. Jake stood up straight. He was in the center of the arena. His breathing was normal. His chest rose and fell slowly. There was no sweat on his face. His uniform was not even wrinkled. He looked like he just woke up from a nap, like nothing had happened. The 4 remaining aliens looked at each other. Their eyes asked silent questions. Should we run? Should we attack together? What do we do? They had never felt this feeling before. Fear. Real fear. Jake did not move toward them. He just stood there, waiting. His arms hung relaxed at his sides. His eyes moved from one alien to the next. Those eyes were cold, empty, like looking into deep space. One of the 4 aliens was named Zrek. He had green scales and yellow eyes. He was known for being brave, but now his voice shook when he spoke. He is just one human. We are 4. We can take him if we work together. The other 3 nodded slowly. They did not believe his words, but they had no choice now. They had started this fight. They had to finish it. Running away would bring shame. Shame worse than losing. Commander Vex still watched from the side. His 4 eyes were wide open. He could not believe what he was seeing. He had trained soldiers for 30 years. He had seen thousands of fights. But he had never seen anyone move like Jake. The human's technique was perfect. His timing was exact. His power was controlled. This was not a cadet. This was a master fighter. The crowd of watching cadets started whispering. The whispers grew louder. They turned into excited voices. Some cadets started recording on their devices. They knew they were watching something special, something they would talk about for years. Jake rolled his shoulders slowly. The movement was casual, like he was loosening up before exercise. He tilted his head to the left, then to the right. His neck cracked softly. Then he spoke. His voice was quiet, but everyone heard it clearly. Last chance. Walk away now. I do not want to hurt you more. Zrek's pride flared up. His fear turned into anger. He shouted at Jake. You think you are strong, human. You think you are special. You just got lucky. Now you face all 4 of us. Now you will lose. Jake's expression did not change. He just sighed quietly. It was a sad sound, like he was disappointed, like he had hoped they would be smart enough to stop. All 4 aliens charged at once. They came from different directions. Zrek ran straight from the front. Another alien named Tor came from the left. The third, one called Vesh, attacked from the right. The 4th alien Grix tried to circle behind Jake. They moved fast. Their feet pounded the metal floor. The sound was like drums of war. The crowd held their breath. This was it. 4 against 1. Surely the human would fall now. Surely this was too much even for him. But Jake did not look worried. He looked calm, peaceful even, like he was taking a walk in a park. His eyes tracked all 4 aliens at once. His body shifted into a fighting stance. His knees bent slightly. His weight balanced perfectly. Zrek reached Jake first. He threw a powerful punch aimed at Jake's chest. But Jake was not there anymore. He moved between Zrek and Tor like a shadow. Zrek's punch hit nothing but air. Before Zrek could react, Jake's fist shot forward. It buried deep into Zrek's stomach. The punch was fast. Too fast to see clearly. Zrek's eyes bulged out. All the air left his lungs in one big gasp. His body folded forward. He dropped his knees. Then he fell face first onto the floor. He did not get back up. He could not breathe. He lay there gasping like a fish out of water. Tor was next. He swung his massive arm at Jake's head. The arm was thick, like a tree trunk. If it connected, it would crush Jake's skull. But Jake ducked under it smoothly. As he ducked, his elbow came up sharp and fast. It caught Tor right under the chin. The impact lifted Tor off his feet. His head snapped back. His eyes rolled up, showing only white. He crashed down hard on his back. Knocked out cold. Completely unconscious. 2 down in 2 seconds. 6 total now defeated. 1 left standing. Vesh tried to grab Jake from behind. His arms wrapped around Jake's chest in a bear hug. Vesh was strong. Very strong. His muscles squeezed tight. He lifted Jake off the ground. He smiled thinking he had won. But his smile did not last long. Jake threw his head backward. His skull smashed into Vesh's face. There was a crunching sound. Vesh's nose broke instantly. Blood sprayed everywhere. His grip loosened. Jake twisted his body. He grabbed Vesh's arm. Then with one smooth motion, he flipped Vesh over his shoulder. Vesh flew through the air. He landed on his back with a thunderous crash. The whole arena shook. Vesh groaned once. Then his eyes closed. He passed out from the pain. Now only Grix remained. He had stopped running. He stood frozen 10 feet away from Jake. His face was white with terror. His hands trembled. His legs shook like leaves in wind. He wanted to run. Every part of his body screamed at him to run, but he could not move. Fear had paralyzed him. Grix watched as Jake turned to face him. Grix's hand moved to his belt. There was a training blade there. It was not sharp, but it was hard metal. It could hurt someone badly. His fingers wrapped around the handle. He pulled it out slowly. The crowd went completely silent. Using weapons in free sparring was against the rules. But nobody stopped Grix. They were too shocked to move. Too amazed by what they were watching. Grix held the blade in front of him. His hand shook so badly the blade rattled. He tried to look brave, but his voice betrayed him. It cracked when he spoke. "Stay back, human. I will use this. I swear I will use it." Jake looked at the blade. Then he looked at Grix. His expression was not angry. It was almost sad, like he felt sorry for Grix. Jake started walking forward. His steps were slow and steady. Each step was calm and measured. Grix panicked. He swung the blade at Jake with all his strength. The blade cut through the air, making a whistling sound. But Jake's hand shot out, fast as lightning. He caught Grix's wrist. His grip stopped the blade inches from his face. Jake's voice was quiet, but it carried across the entire arena. "You do not need that." With one quick motion, Jake twisted Grix's wrist. Grix cried out in pain. His fingers opened automatically. The blade fell to the floor. It clattered loudly on the metal. Jake kicked it away. It slid across the arena and stopped at the wall far away. Grix tried to pull free, but Jake held him. Then Jake's fist came forward. One single punch. Clean and precise. It hit Grix square in the chest. Not his face. Not his stomach. His chest. Right over his heart. Grix's eyes went wide. All the air left his body. He could not breathe. His lungs refused to work. He clutched his chest with his free hand. Then his legs gave out. He collapsed to the floor, gasping and wheezing. Jake let him go. He stepped back. He looked around the arena. 7 aliens lay on the ground around him. Some groaned. Some were unconscious. Some held their injuries. But all 7 were defeated. Total time from start to finish was 10 seconds. Only 10 seconds. Jake had beaten 7 trained warriors in less time than it takes to tie a shoe. Jake stood alone in the center. His breathing was still normal. His uniform still clean. Not a single drop of sweat on his face. He had one small scratch on his cheek from when Vesh grabbed him. That was all. One tiny scratch. The arena exploded with noise. Cadets jumped to their feet. They shouted and cheered. Some clapped their hands. Others stood with their mouths open in shock. They could not believe what they just saw. It was impossible. But they had seen it with their own eyes. Commander Vex walked slowly into the arena. His 4 eyes studied Jake carefully. Then he studied the 7 defeated aliens. He nodded his head once, a sign of respect. Commander Vex sat alone in his office late that night. The room was dark, except for one blue screen glowing on his desk. On the screen played the security footage from today's fight. He had watched it 7 times already. Each time he saw something new, something that made his blood cold. He pressed a button. The footage slowed down. Frame by frame, the images moved. He watched Jake catch Crawl's punch. The computer analysis appeared on the side of the screen. It showed Jake's hand speed, his reaction time, his grip strength. The numbers were insane. They were 3 times higher than the average cadet, 4 times higher than most graduates. Commander Vex zoomed in on Jake's face during the fight. Jake's expression never changed. No anger, no fear, no excitement, just calm focus. Like he was doing a simple training drill. Like he had done this 1,000 times before. The commander opened another program on his computer. He typed in the search bar, Earth, Death World, Classification. The screen filled with information. He started reading. His 4 eyes grew wider with each sentence. The first page showed Earth's basic facts. Gravity 3 times stronger than most inhabited planets. This meant humans carried 3 times their body weight every single day. Their bones were denser. Their muscles were packed with more fibers. Just standing up on Earth was like lifting weights on other planets. He scrolled down. The next section was about Earth's atmosphere. It contained 21% oxygen. Most planets had only 10 to 15%. This meant human blood carried more oxygen to their muscles and brain. They could think faster, move faster, fight longer without getting tired. The commander kept reading. His hands began to shake slightly. Earth's surface temperature ranged from minus 60 degrees to plus 50 degrees. Humans survived in both extremes. Their bodies adapted to anything. They could fight in ice storms. They could fight in burning deserts. Nothing stopped them. Then came the section about Earth's predators. The commander's mouth fell open. Earth had thousands of species that hunted humans. Giant cats with claws like knives. Massive bears that weighed half a ton. Poisonous snakes. Venomous spiders. Sharks in the water. Even tiny insects that spread deadly diseases. But here was the shocking part. Humans were not prey. Humans became the apex predators. They hunted everything that tried to hunt them. They climbed to the top of the food chain through intelligence and violence. They became the most feared species on their own planet. Commander Vex scrolled to the medical section. His breathing got faster. Human pain tolerance was rated 10 times higher than most species. Their bodies produced chemicals called adrenaline and endorphins. When humans got hurt, these chemicals flooded their system. They made humans stronger, faster, more aggressive. Pain made humans dangerous instead of weak. The healing section was next. Humans could recover from injuries that would kill other species. Broken bones healed in weeks. Cut flesh sealed itself. Even damaged organs could regenerate partially. They were like biological machines designed for war. The commander sat back in his chair. He rubbed his face with his hands. He finally understood. Earth was not called a death world because it was hard to live there. It was called a death world because everything on that planet was designed to kill. And humans survived by becoming better killers than anything else. He pulled up Jake's military file. He read it carefully. Jake Carter, age 22, joined Earth military at age 15. Special Forces training completed at age 18. Served in 4 major conflicts against hostile alien species. 47 confirmed combat missions. 0 failures. 0 retreats. The commander's hands froze on the keyboard. He read the last line again. Special Forces. He clicked on that link. A new page opened. It explained what Earth's Special Forces were. They were not regular soldiers. They were selected from the best of the best. Only 2% of applicants passed the training. The training lasted 3 years. Most candidates quit. Some died during training. Those who finished became weapons. Living weapons. Commander Vex watched the fight footage one more time. He activated the combat analysis program. The computer broke down every move Jake made. Every punch. Every block. Every step. Green lines traced Jake's movements. Red numbers showed the force of each strike. Then the computer displayed a final analysis. Estimated power used during combat 30%. The commander stared at that number. 30%. Jake had fought 7 warriors using only 30% of his strength. The computer calculated what would happen at 100%. The numbers appeared on screen. Strike force capable of breaking reinforced steel. Movement speed too fast for normal eyes to track. Reaction time measured in milliseconds. Threat level classified as extreme. Recommendation: avoid direct combat at all costs. The commander felt a chill run down his spine. He had trained warriors for 30 years. He had fought in 50 wars across 20 planets. He had seen the strongest fighters in the galaxy, but he had never seen anything like this. Humans were not just soldiers. They were evolution's answer to the question, what if we made a species that only knew how to survive and fight? Meanwhile, in the medical bay across campus, the 7 defeated aliens lay in beds. White bandages covered their injuries. Medical scanners beeped softly around them. Crawl sat up in his bed. His right arm was in a cast. His face was pale. His pride hurt worse than his body. The medical doctor walked between the beds. He was a small alien with 6 arms and gentle eyes. His name was Dr. Fun. He checked each patient carefully. He adjusted their medicine. He made sure they were comfortable. Then he stopped at Crawl's bed. He looked at Crawl with serious eyes. You are lucky humans showed mercy. I analyzed your injuries. The break in your arm was clean. Precise. He could have shattered the bone into 50 pieces. Instead, he broke it at the weakest point. A point that will heal perfectly in 4 weeks. Crawl stared at the doctor. His voice was quiet and ashamed. He was holding back the whole time. Dr. Fun nodded slowly. All of you are lucky. I have seen combat injuries before. Real ones. When someone fights to kill. Your injuries are minor. Controlled. That human knew exactly how much force to use. He wanted to stop you, not destroy you. Remember that. 3 days after the fight, a massive military ship landed at the academy. It was black and silver with a symbol of the Galactic Fleet on its side. The engines roared as it touched down. Every cadet stopped and stared. Ships like this only came when something important was happening. The landing ramp lowered with a hiss. Heavy boots walked down the metal. General Thrak stepped out into the sunlight. He was even bigger than his son Crawl. He stood 9 feet tall. His gray skin looked like battle armor. Scars covered his arms and face. He had fought in 100 wars. He wore a uniform covered in medals. His eyes were cold and hard like stone. General Thrak marched straight to Commander Vex's office. His boots made the floor shake with each step. Cadets moved out of his way quickly. They could feel his anger. It rolled off him like heat from fire. 2 of his personal guards followed behind him. They carried weapons. Their faces showed no emotion. The general burst through Commander Vex's office door without knocking. The door slammed against the wall. Commander Vex looked up from his desk. He was expecting this visit. He had prepared for it. General Thrak's voice boomed through the room. Where is he? Where's the human who attacked my son? I want him expelled. I want him arrested. I want justice for this crime. Commander Vex stood up slowly. He kept his voice calm and professional. General Thrak, welcome to my academy. Your son is recovering well in the medical bay. His injuries will heal completely. There is no permanent damage. The general slammed his fist on the desk. The whole desk shook. Papers fell to the floor. I do not care about his injuries. I care about honor. 7 cadets versus 1. My son lost. My family name is shamed. That human must pay. Commander Vex pressed a button on his desk. I think you should meet the cadet before you decide his punishment. I have called him here. He will arrive shortly. The general breathed hard through his nose. His hands clenched into fists. He turned and stared at the door, waiting. His guards stood on either side of him. The room felt heavy with tension. A knock came at the door. Commander Vex called out, Enter. The door opened. Jake walked in. He wore his standard gray uniform, clean and pressed. His boots were polished. His hair was neat. He looked like any other cadet. Small compared to the giant general. Young compared to the old warrior. Jake stopped 3 steps into the room. He stood at attention, his back straight, his hands at his sides. His eyes looked forward. This was proper military discipline. He showed respect even though he did not have to. General Thrak stared down at Jake. His eyes scanned Jake from head to toe. Disbelief crossed his face. This small human hurt my son. You expect me to believe this tiny creature defeated 7 warriors. His voice was full of mockery, full of insult, but Jake did not react. His face stayed neutral. He kept his military posture perfect. Commander Vex spoke calmly. General, I have security footage. I have medical reports. I have 50 witnesses. Yes, this cadet defeated your son and 6 others. The evidence is clear. The general's face turned dark red. He took one step toward Jake. He leaned down so his face was close to Jake's. My son is a warrior. He comes from a line of warriors going back 10 generations. You cheated somehow. You must have used weapons. You must have had help. Jake's voice was quiet but clear, respectful but firm. Sir, your son attacked me. 7 against 1. I defended myself. No weapons. No help. Just training and skill. The general's eyes flashed with rage. You lie. My son would never lose a fair fight to something like you. Something like you. The words hung in the air. It was an insult, a deep insult. But Jake still did not react with anger. He kept his composure. Commander Vex stepped between them. General, perhaps you would like to see the footage. Then you can judge for yourself what happened. The general straightened up. He crossed his arms over his massive chest. Fine. Show me this footage. Show me how this human supposedly won. Commander Vex turned on a large screen on his wall. The security footage began playing. It showed the entire fight, from start to finish. Every movement, every strike, every fall. The general watched in silence. His expression slowly changed. The anger faded. Confusion replaced it. Then something else. Something like shock. The footage ended. The screen went black. The room was quiet for a long moment. The general stared at the blank screen. His mouth opened slightly, but no words came out. Finally he spoke. His voice was different now. Quieter. Play it again. Slower this time. Commander Vex replayed the footage. This time in slow motion. Frame by frame, they watched Jake move. Watched him dodge. Watched him counter. Watched him control every moment of the fight. The computer analysis appeared on screen. The numbers, the calculations, the conclusion that Jake used only 30% power. General Thrak sat down slowly in a chair. He looked smaller somehow. The anger was gone. Now he just looked tired. Old. He turned to look at Jake. Really look at him this time. Not with anger. With curiosity. You held back. The entire fight you held back. Jake nodded once. Yes, sir. I did not want to cause serious harm. I only wanted to stop the attack. The general shook his head slowly. My son could be dead right now. If you wanted, if you used your full strength, he would be dead. Jake said nothing. The truth was obvious. Everyone in the room knew it. The general stood up. He walked to Jake. He stood directly in front of him. Jake did not move, did not flinch. The 2 guards tensed. Their hands moved toward their weapons. But the general raised his hand, a signal to stand down. The general's voice was firm, demanding, "You will apologize to my son. You will tell him you are sorry for hurting him. You will show proper respect to his family name." Jake's jaw tightened, just slightly, but he did not look away from the general's eyes. No, sir. With respect. No. The room went completely silent. Nobody spoke. Nobody breathed. Commander Vex watched carefully. His hand moved slowly toward the emergency button under his desk. The general's voice dropped to almost a whisper. "What did you say?" Jake's voice stayed calm. "Steady." I said, "No, sir. I will not apologize. Your son started the fight. He and his friends surrounded me 7-1. They wanted to hurt me to embarrass me. I defended myself. That is not something I apologize for." The general's face started turning red again, but Jake continued speaking. "On Earth we have a saying, sir. Do not start fights. Finish them. Your son started this fight. I finished it. I showed mercy. I could have hurt him much worse. I could have broken his neck instead of his arm, but I chose not to. I chose to only disable him. That was my mercy, sir." The general took a step forward. His shadow covered Jake completely. But Jake stood his ground. He did not back up, did not look away. "You dare speak to me this way. I am a general. I command fleets. I have destroyed planets." Jake's voice did not rise, did not shake, and I respect that, sir. I respect your rank. I respect your service, but I will not apologize for defending myself. My honor means something too. Even if I am just human, even if I am small, I have honor, and I will not surrender it. For a long moment the general stared at Jake. The tension in the room was thick enough to cut. Then something changed in the general's eyes. The anger faded away, replaced by something else. Understanding maybe, or recognition. Commander Vex decided it was time to intervene. He spoke quickly. General, with your permission, I would like to show you something else. Something about Earth and humans. He pulled up the files on his screen. The death world classification, the biological data, the survival statistics. The general read through it all. His eyes moved across the screen. Page after page of information. His expression changed as he read. Shock, disbelief, finally acceptance. When he finished reading, the general turned back to Jake. He studied him with new eyes, seeing him differently now, not as a small, weak cadet, but as something else, something dangerous, something to respect. The general's voice was soft now, almost gentle. I underestimated you. I underestimated all humans. That was my mistake, and my son's mistake. He stood up straight. Then he did something nobody expected. He raised his hand to his forehead. A military salute, the highest sign of respect a soldier could give. I apologize, human. You fought with honor. You showed mercy when you did not have to. That is the mark of a true warrior. Jake returned the salute immediately, his hand crisp and perfect. Thank you, sir. Your apology is accepted. The general lowered his hand. He almost smiled, just a small movement at the corner of his mouth. My son needs to learn from this. Will you help teach him? Help him become stronger, better. Jake nodded without hesitation. Yes, sir. I would be honored. It was a normal morning at the Galactic Military Academy. The sun rose over the silver buildings. Cadets walked to their classes. Jake was in the training hall, teaching 20 students his combat techniques. Crawl was there too, practicing hard. Everyone was focused and calm. Then the alarm started screaming. Red lights flashed throughout the entire academy. The sound was loud and sharp. It hurt the ears. Every cadet stopped what they were doing. Their faces showed confusion and fear. This alarm only went off for one reason. Real danger. Commander Vex's voice boomed through every speaker in the academy. All cadets report to emergency stations immediately. This is not a drill. Hostile forces detected approaching our sector. All combat-ready personnel, prepare for possible engagement. Instructors to command center now. Jake stopped teaching. His students looked at him with wide eyes. They had never heard this alarm before. Most of them had never faced real combat. Jake's voice was calm and clear. Go to your stations. Follow your training. Stay focused. You will be fine. The students ran toward the exits. Jake walked quickly but did not run. He headed straight for the command center. Other instructors were moving in the same direction. Everyone looked serious. Some looked scared. Jake reached the command center in 2 minutes. The room was massive with screens covering every wall. Dozens of officers worked at control stations. In the center stood Commander Vex. His 4 eyes studied a large holographic display floating in the air. The display showed their solar system. Red dots were moving toward the Academy planet. Commander Vex saw Jake enter. He waved him over. Cadet Carter, good you are here. We need every trained fighter ready. Jake stood next to the commander. He looked at the holographic display. He counted the red dots. 15 enemy ships. They were moving fast. Very fast. Who are they, sir? Commander Vex's voice was grim. Raiders. The Kresh Empire. They attack colonies and academies looking for supplies and prisoners. They are brutal. They do not take mercy. They do not negotiate. Jake's jaw tightened. He had heard of the Kresh. Every human soldier knew about them. They had attacked Earth colonies before. Many humans died in those attacks. How long until they arrive? Commander Vex checked his screen. 20 minutes. Maybe less. We sent distress signals to the Galactic Fleet, but reinforcements will not arrive for 3 hours. We are alone until then. The room went quiet. Everyone heard those words. 3 hours. They had survived for 3 hours against 15 warships. The Academy had defense systems, but they were old. They had not been used in decades. Nobody knew if they still worked properly. An officer called out from his station. So the enemy ships are launching smaller craft. Looks like boarding parties. They plan to land troops and attack us directly. Commander Vex nodded slowly. His face showed worry, but his voice stayed strong. Activate all defense shields. Power up the weapon systems. Get every cadet who knows how to fight into defensive positions around the main buildings. We protect the younger students at all costs. Officers began typing commands into their computers. Screens lit up with tactical information. The Academy's defense shields powered on with a deep humming sound. Energy barriers appeared around the important buildings. Commander Vex turned to Jake. I know you're just a cadet, but I saw what you can do. I need you out there. Help organize the defense. Help keep everyone alive. Jake saluted. Yes, sir. I will do my best. He turned to leave, but the commander called him back. Cadet Carter, one more thing. If it comes down to it, if we are about to lose, I am giving you permission to use your full strength. Do whatever is necessary to protect the students here. Do you understand? Jake looked into Commander's 4 eyes. They both knew what that meant. The commander was telling Jake to stop holding back, to unleash everything, to become the weapon he was trained to be. I understand, sir. Jake left the command center. He ran now. Fast. His boots pounded on the metal floors. He reached the main courtyard where cadets were gathering. Hundreds of them. All different species. All looking scared and confused. They were students, not soldiers. Most had never even seen real combat. Jake jumped onto a raised platform so everyone could see him. His voice carried across the courtyard loud and clear. Listen to me. Enemy forces will be here in 15 minutes. They will try to land troops. They will try to break through our defenses. We are going to stop them. Some cadets looked at each other nervously. Others gripped their training weapons tighter. Jake continued. I know you are scared. That is normal. Fear keeps you alert. But do not let fear control you. Remember your training. Stay together. Watch each other's backs. Follow your instructors. We will get through this. Crawl stepped forward from the crowd. His arm was out of the cast now. Fully healed. His voice was strong. We stand with you, Jake. We fight together. Other cadets started nodding. Their fear began mixing with determination. They had trained for months. Some for years. Now it was time to put that training to use. Jake organized them quickly. He put the strongest fighters on the outer perimeter. He placed cadets with long-range weapons on the rooftops. He positioned the younger students inside the protected buildings with instructors to guard them. Then the sky changed color. Dark shapes appeared in the clouds. The enemy ships. They were huge and black, covered in weapons and armor. They looked like giant predators diving toward prey. The ships did not fire their main guns. They wanted the Academy intact. They wanted prisoners and supplies. Instead, they released smaller craft, drop ships. Each one carried 20 crushed soldiers. Jake counted them as they fell. 30 drop ships, 600 enemy soldiers. The drop ships screamed through the sky. Their engines roared. They headed straight for the Academy grounds. The defense systems activated. Laser turrets swiveled and fired. Blue beams of energy shot upward. Some hit the drop ships. Explosions lit up the sky. Ships spun out of control and crashed in the distance. But most of the ships made it through. They landed hard around the Academy. Their doors opened with hydraulic hisses. Crushed soldiers poured out. They were 7 feet tall, covered in red and black armor. They carried plasma rifles and energy blades. Their faces were hidden behind helmets. They looked like demons from nightmares. The creche formed up quickly. Professional. Experienced. They had done this before, many times. They started advancing toward the Academy buildings in organized lines. Jake stood at the front of the cadet defense line. Kral was on his right. Zrek was on his left. Behind them stood 200 armed cadets. All ready. All waiting. The creche commander saw them. He laughed. The sound came through his helmet speaker loud and mocking. Look, children playing soldier. This will be easy. Kill them all. Take what we want. The crushed soldiers raised their weapons. 600 rifles pointed at 200 cadets. The moment stretched out. Time seemed to slow down. Everyone held their breath. Then Jake's voice cut through the silence. For the academy. For each other. Hold the line.